Hey, what's up, everybody? I just actually did a little recording. I wanted to do a Olympics Sochi update, and it went over the 10 minutes, so I figured I'd cut it down, make it shorter. Good to know that I can ramble on like an asshole, though, so be prepared to have the podcast, have the soundbite expanded. But this is a quick Sochi update. Wanted to do this, go over just a couple topics. Medal standing so far. The U.S. is tied with Russia for first, I think, with 18 medals. Netherlands falling off as we predicted because of the ice speed skating is over, and they're great at it. Go check out their medals. They're all speed skating, which is fine. Good for them. That's what they do in the Netherlands when it gets cold. Those the dams, the canals freeze over, and they just skate each other. They race each other, which is, you think about it. You're on ice skates and you're on a straightaway, and you got a buddy next to you. What are you gonna do? Meet me at the end. Go. So good for them. But the U.S. The U.S., like every other, I feel like every Olympics it's U.S. versus the home team for medal count. Back 2 years ago in England. England did well. They did better. They got a home field boost, as they call it, but it was pretty much U.S. versus China, and U.S. just dominated. Going back to the 2010 Winter Games, Canada cleaned up in the gold medal, but overall we medaled more. So always the U.S. versus the home team. Even back to China, same thing in 2008. They did well in the gold medal count, but we dominated in overall medals. We're kind of the king of bronze, which is good. It's better than no medals, but hopefully these Olympics we start picking up some gold, which moves on to speed. Going back to speed skating, the U.S. team, like I said, they had some problems with the suits, and it's kind of bullshit. You kind of go, you can't blame. I'm not a big fan of blaming stuff. It's you. It's you. You got to own up to it. But if it's a problem, they're switching over to their old suits. So hopefully that gives them some sort of boost, psychological boost anyway, where they can start kicking some ass before it's too late. Because there's a lot of talent on that team, on that speed skating team, and they drop the ball, and that's too bad. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think the fun speed skating, the ones everyone remembers, what the hell was his name? The speed skater from the U.S. I'm drawing a blank. I want to say Yoko Ono. It's not Yoko Ono. Apollo Anton Ono. That was his name. He was the man, and it was always fun to watch those races. The races were a lot of fun. I don't know. They might have done those already. I'm not too sure. It's tough to follow these games because the time difference is so great, but I think those races are coming up. But anyway, hopefully the U.S. team can get their shit straightened out and pick up a couple medals, maybe a couple bronze, at least. Speaking of bronze, my main man Bodie Miller, got tied for bronze in the Super G, which is great because I was pissed at him because he's a great skier and he's been awesome in the past. And they were talking about all his practice runs and how great, he did great, so he should do awesome on the medal runs, and he didn't. So good for him. He becomes the most medaled, I think, men's skier in Olympic history, and he also becomes the oldest Winter Olympics medalist at 36 years and 112 days. 112 days? I know you were concerned about that. So good for Bodie. There was the after interview. His brother had died. I think a few years, maybe last year. I don't know. And there was a pretty rough interview he had to do, and he broke down. And it seemed like the interviewer, she kind of twisted the knife in there a little bit with some pretty tough questions about his brother. Just keep hitting on the same point. But Bodie's a good guy and came out and said, "Don't blame her. It's the nature of the beast. A lot of emotion running." So. Great for Bodie. Glad to hear it. Hopefully he has some fun. The great Bodie story ends. Bodie Miller. I've always loved his name, Bodie Miller. Just rolls right off the tongue. Unlike my name. My name's like a train wreck off the tongue. And I always have to spell it for people on the phone, and it gets tiring. And to be honest, I'm an idiot. So I've spelled it wrong for a few people on the phone, and Talk about a brain explosion when you spell your own name wrong. Your brain can't handle it. I kind of freeze up. But so that's Bodie. Moving on, the hockey game won't go. I mean, it's been a while, so everyone knows the deal. TJ Oshie going 4 for 6 in the shootout. Holy shit! He's a instant American hero, which is awesome, and great for us. U.S. picks up the second seed in a first round bye. We're going to play the winner of, I think, Slovenia. So hopefully, and it looks like to get to the medal round, it's going to be a long road. We might have to play Canada, potentially play Canada in the semis, and then play either Russia or Sweden in the finals, which is nutso. But if it's worth doing, it's tough, right? And the thing that was kind of pissing me off a little bit was TJ Oshie. I mean, he wasn't pissing me off, but people were going nuts with the internet memes. I don't even, whatever. Memes, whatever. Someone tell me how they're pronounced. With syncing up with Miracle on Ice with Kurt Russell. And it's like, awesome, this is awesome. I bet even TJ would come out and say, hey, listen, guys, we got another game. We got to focus on the next game. It's kind of the Belichick thing, focus on the next game. That was a great win, but we got to focus. And we got to, everyone's got to focus, We're kind of getting crazy. It's definitely a classic, but if we don't at least medal or something, it takes a little bit of shine off that game. If Russia ends up winning the medal, who gives a shit if they lost that game, So let's rock, let's roll, USA, back-to-back World War champs. Love that. So that's the hockey game. I guess some Russians were complaining, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but they were bitching and moaning, and whatever, complaining. There's always somebody complaining about something. And also the U.S. won in ice dancing, won a gold medal. That's pretty awesome. It's crazy, though. Someone else was complaining about that, saying the Canadian routine wasn't scored tough enough. I don't know. And this brings me up to a quick point about ice dancing and ice skating, which is obviously very difficult, and you have to be an athlete to do it. I couldn't do it. Obviously the normal person can't do it. But it seems so arbitrary on the ratings. I don't know. I feel like it's not exactly. I feel like they add it in the Olympics for viewership, which is fine, but it's just overall, it seems like so many different angles can be rated and measured by a judge. I don't know, but like I said last week, I'm not a scientist, and guess what, guys? I'm not a judge either. I'm not an ice dancing judge. I'm not an ice skater. I'm not an expert in that field. I do know some ice skaters, though, so I could add them to the list. I know some chemists, and I know some ice skaters. Get some questions going. But anyway, this was just going to be a quick podcast update, not the weekend soundbite. I appreciate the feedback, though, from the last one. That was awesome. Awesome stuff. I might not post the soundbite this Friday. I might post it on Saturday and have somebody join me, and we can make it a little bit longer, and it might be a little more fun. Have a friend join me. We can just talk about some goofy stuff and provide a little more content. So this is all right. Thanks for listening, guys. This has been the Sochi update. I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do once the Olympics end, because I'm going to have to talk about maybe try and do a weekly update on something else. Who knows? There's always a lot going on in the world. If you don't read, start pick up a book. Start reading. Find some there's a bunch of websites out there. There's all kinds of shit going on in the world. Get your head out of your ass. All right. Bye, guys.